Okay, guys, I am so happy to be here with you guys. You guys know I absolutely love webinars. So we're going to talk about Jim Henson today. Um, Annie, I'm not sure if I can take the screen now, if I can share my screen. I believe I can. Let me know where you're from, guys. I see some familiar names here like Lisa and Joanna and Dora. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Sophia. Um, Oh, great. I just saw my other Sophia there. I got a couple Sophias here, and William and Tony. Wonderful. Let me know, everybody else, where you're from. And we're going to go ahead and start. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Ivy. Wonderful. I see lots of same people that I see a lot here. And if you're new, that's wonderful too. Okay. And Tony's here and William. This is wonderful. Okay, let me go ahead and start it because I'm so excited. Um, And you guys can hear me, right? Give me a yes or a no in the chat because Annie can't hear me. I should make sure you guys can hear me. Hi, King. Okay. Wonderful. All right, Nina, glad you're here. Thank you. Yeah, Lisa says. Lisa, that reminds me of one of the Muppets. We're going to talk about Jim Henson and the Muppets today. Let me go ahead and show you our book. And let me share my screen here. And this is my little PowerPoint that I made up as well. Hopefully, we won't have any more sound issues. This is Jim Henson. You might think Jim Henson, well, you guys might know his name, but you know Sesame Street possibly. You know the Muppets. So we're going to talk about him today. I got some fun videos to show you. Can anybody in the chat name any of the Muppets or the characters on Sesame Street or the Muppet Show in the chat? Let me know if anybody can name any of them. I bet you know a few, probably. Anybody else? Oh, Henry the Cookie Monster. Yeah, people love him. Anybody know Kermit the Frog or Big Bird or Elmo? Anybody know any of those characters? When you see them, you'll probably know them. So yeah, we all know the Cookie Monster. All right, so let me go ahead and continue. Jim Henson is the puppeteer or the person that made and created all of these. Isn't that neat? So a puppeteer is somebody that has their hand in a puppet and they have the puppet talk. And he created all their characters, all the way they look, the way they talk. Kind of neat. So he was born in Mississippi in 1936 and he loved arts and television. So he started making his first Muppet. Instead of puppet, they called them Muppets. Okay. And so his first was Kermit the Frog. He was really one of my favorites too. He made him before he made Sesame Street. Let me go ahead and start our book and I'll go back to Jim Henson and a couple different things here. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start. A happy childhood. Jim Henson was born in 1936 in Mississippi. He loved comedy and trying out all kinds of art. Jim spent lots of time with his grandmother. She was an artist and taught Jim how to paint, draw, and sew. So he was very artistic and crafty. So he probably started sewing some of his little puppets together. That's how he started. The spark of creation. So spark means idea. The spark of creation. In fifth grade, Jim's family moved to Maryland. That's kind of by me. I'm in Virginia. He loved art and TV. He created sets for school plays and drew a cartoon for his high school's yearbook. In high school, he also began creating puppets for a TV show. So it says here when he created sets, it means like the area for a play. When people go to the theater, they have a set on the stage, you know, a couch or whatever the scene has in the story. So he created sets. He says, when I was young, my ambition was to be one of the people who made a difference in the world. He definitely did make a difference. Ambition is your goal. Success as a young adult. Now you see how he first made Kermit look. These are some of his first puppets or Muppets. They look kind of old and worn, don't they? Jim soon got his own TV show, Sam and Friends. The show was only 5 minutes long. It featured an early Kermit the Frog. His name's Kermit. Jim worked on the show with Jane Nebel, who he later married. Together, they founded the Jim Henson Company, and you'll see her in a minute. But she helped him a lot on different puppets and on his show. You see how he's got his hand in Ernie and Bert? These are two of the famous ones, Ernie and Bert. They're roommates and they kind of fight with each other, but they fight kind of playing. Okay. Um, all right. Hearing how creative Jim was, a group called the Children's Television Workshop asked him to help create a new children's show. The show Sesame Street began in 1969. It was so loved, it ran in more than 80 countries and in 14 languages. So let me know if you've seen Sesame Street before in the chat. Tell me if you've seen Sesame Street. And okay, Annie, I gotcha. And let me know if you saw it in English or in Chinese. If you saw Sesame Street, if it was in English, maybe that's how you learned a lot of English. Okay, so a couple people have seen it. Let me show you a part of Sesame Street I think you'll like. And here we go. This is some of Sesame Street, and this is when they're actually going to China. Okay, so this is pretty neat. Let me just share the screen. This is Big Bird. Sesame Street is the street they're on. This is when they're going to go to China.
Hurry, Barkley! Let's pack our bags. Let's call the station. Let's grab a cab, make a reservation for China. Hey, bring me a hunk of an old Chinese junk.
Oscar the Grouch. He's grouchy and mean.
You'll meet some new people.
Get some new kicks.
See some new places.
You'll eat with sticks.
In China!
Take my advice, don't eat the rice.
I'm not sure I want to get stuck there.
If I were you, I wouldn't press my luck there.
I hear they'll even press a duck there.
What?
In China!
I hear they drink tea.
Me here they eat shark.
There's 1 million people, so where do you park?
When you get to China, go antiquing in Peking.
Then stop by in old Shanghai.
Don't hang out in Hangzhou.
Go dunking in Chongqing.
Dunking in Chongqing. While you're there in China, stop off in Canton.
A great place to go to.
Open the door and see a pagoda in China. First to Rome,
And then to Nome.
and then Stockholm,
And then back home.
and Kathmandu, then Kalamazoo,
And Timbuktu.
No, thank you.
Kokomo.
Then Borneo. Borneo? I told you so.
Then Messina.
then Pasadena, then Al's Marina on Catalina.
Then Argentina.
Argentina?
And China. Come, we're off to find the Phoenix.
I thought Phoenix was in Arizona.
So that they're going to go to China. So that was part of Sesame Street. I thought you guys would like that. But there's lots of other fun things in Sesame Street where you learn your letters. And Jim Henson created all of that for children. And it's still on TV today, which is pretty cool. Okay, cool, William. You're in Canada. That's right, William. You always remind me of that. We're both in North America. Okay, so pretty cool. Let me go back to my PowerPoint and share that. And then we'll go back to the book. I've got lots of fun stuff to show you guys, like I always do. Okay, so here he is with Kermit. Here's Sesame Street, like we just saw. This began in 1960 and is shown in over 80 countries, like our book said. Okay, lots of his puppets showed diversity, different races, different cultures. And I showed you Sesame Street goes to China. So here's Big Bird. Here's Oscar the Grouch. Grouchy means like angry all the time, kind of like has something bad to say about everything. And then these guys, I don't really know their names. And here's Elmo, who you probably know, and Cookie Monster, and Ernie and Bert. Okay, he also developed The Muppet Show, which is actually one of my favorite shows. Okay, it's not on TV anymore, but I grew up watching that. And that was Kermit, who was the host of The Muppet Show. Henson put together the two words, marionettes and puppets, and that's how he came up with the word Muppets. Marionettes are kind of puppets on strings. You could hold the little strings up above the curtain so the audience couldn't see, your hands, and they have little strings to make their hands go up and down. That's a little different than a puppet where you put your hand in the puppet and he talks. Okay, these puppets could show feelings and were made of cloth. So that was kind of one of the main goals of his show and of Jim Henson, just to kind of make them have feelings and show different things. Let me show you a little bit more about the history of Sesame Street before we go further in our book. Okay.
That has educated and entertained generations of children. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be taking a look at the history of Sesame Street. Originating as a program called Television for Preschool Children, it went on to pioneer TV-based educational programming and continues to set the standard decades after its debut. Created in the mid-1960s, it was quickly pitched as an experiment to test the usefulness of TV technology as an educational tool. As a result, it easily found funding from several government agencies and foundations.
3 keys. 1, 2, 3.
Debuting in 1969, the show's earliest episodes differed greatly from the show we know and love today. In the early days, its premise was centered on dramatizing the inner thoughts of child actors.
And you can see when they first started Sesame Street and Jim Henson began it, it wasn't a lot of puppets yet, was it? It was more kids interacting, saying 1, 2, 3, or A, B, C.
She is a nice, warm, friendly animal, the cow.
This was supplemented with Sesame Street's original cast of supporting characters. These included Bob, Mr. Hooper, Gordon, and Susan. To maintain a sense of realism for the young viewers, the Muppets, crafted by Jim Henson,
And that's Jim Henson juggling.
were kept within their own personalized segments. This meant that characters such as Bert and Ernie would never leave their basement apartment.
Ernie, get out of the tub.
How come?
Well, because there are a lot of people waiting to take a bath, that's why.
Separating these scenes were various animated segments that stressed the quick and catchy learning of letters and numbers.
E, C, me.
In fact, the show adopted the methodology of advertising commercials. Since advertising had proven to have such a profound influence, entire segments and episodes were brought to viewers by a particular letter or number.
Now, the sound of W is in a number of useful and common words. Words like wiggle and...
It soon became apparent to test groups that children were only interested in the animation and Muppet segments. This was because the human characters often engaged in tedious dialogue scenes. As a result, the show eventually decided to combine its reality and fantasy elements. Because of this, characters like Oscar the Grouch and Big Bird became permanent street residents and would regularly interact with the multicultural human cast.
And this sign says sail, yarn.
Big Bird, the store's closed, you know.
Oh yes, Susan, I'm just looking at the signs because I'm using signs to practice learning words.
However, because the show had cast Black and Hispanic actors, it was banned in several American states, including Mississippi. Overcoming this, the show went on to do more than simply teach kids the basics of language and numbers. It went on to address children's concerns, fears, and interests, while also demonstrating cultural tolerance. Today, Sesame Street continues to be one of the most popular children's shows on the air, despite having a wide range of competitors. It has achieved this by staying current with culture, while continuing to feature countless guest appearances by various celebrities.
Elmo doesn't care if Mr. Ricky Gervais is a celebrity or not. Elmo just loves lullabies.
Good. But know that I am a celebrity.
Well, Elmo believes Mr. Ricky.
Good. Lay your fuzzy little head down.
Okay.
Of course, Sesame Street's involvement with popular culture has also brought it several high-profile scandals and rumors.
Okay, so we've got Elmo there. You guys might have seen Elmo. And Elmo just started on Sesame Street probably 20 years ago. He wasn't one of the first Muppets, but he was probably one of the most popular. All right, let's go and go back to our book, and I'm going to show you something else in a second. Let me go back to Jim Henson and how we have their hands in the Muppets or the puppets. As you guys saw, that's Jim Henson there in the middle. Muppets. In 1976, The Muppet Show began. Muppet was a word Jim came up with that brought together the word puppet and marionette. The show became one of the most successful TV shows of all time. It showed in over 100 countries. I'm going to show you The Muppet Show in just a second. Creating and teaching. Jim used puppets in movies and TV shows to spread important messages. Fraggle Rock began in 1983. It taught children about diversity and peace. Before it showed in another country, it was sometimes reworked to make sense for that culture. So if they showed the same show in Africa, they might just change it a bit so that those children understood it a little bit more. That's smart. Puppets and feelings. Some puppets are made out of wood, but when making Kermit, Jim had the idea to use cloth instead. Remember we saw on another page that he sewed with a needle and a sewing machine? Cloth made it easier to move the puppets' faces. This way, the puppets could make faces that showed human-like feelings. A different kind of boss. Jim saw failing as a way to learn how to do better. He was a calm, fun leader. He loved laughing and making good work. Jim was a great listener and loved to hear other people's ideas and thoughts. And it sounds like he's a pretty good boss to work for, doesn't it? All right, let me show you something else with Jim Henson. And all right, this is him talking about Kermit the Frog, and I want you to see if you can hear Kermit's voice in this. He was the one that sewed Kermit the Frog, invented him, and he was the one that made his voice. It sounds like Kermit talking, but this is actually Jim Henson talking, who our book is about.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Kermit is, he's certainly been a part of me. He's a character that I think of probably like an author thinks of a character he's written in a book. You know, it exists over there in that world, and when I'm manipulating Kermit, he's a living being to me.
Are you ready, Kermit?
Yeah, just don't push me hard.
What?
Push me hard.
Okay.
I really enjoy performing, particularly for somebody like Kermit the Frog. He's very much a part of me, and performing him is fun.
By way of demonstration, you see, I am indeed a puppet. This is not something I like to talk about very much, but it is true that I am a puppet. And there's a puppeteer, and he's working the puppet, and he's looking at the monitor. See? Oh my goodness.
People worry if they see the performer in the same shot with a puppet character. It's been my experience that the character himself is really what's interesting. Generally, the eye goes to Kermit here. And we've had, when we're working on Sesame Street, and there'll be some little kids visiting the studio, they know those characters very well. The characters still have life, and those characters are living, breathing characters. And it doesn't matter that they're strange, tall, bearded people, you know, attached to them. You know.
The truth of the matter is that the frog is a great deal more interesting to look at, and who notices what the bearded man is doing? You know, I mean, that's, you know, the reality. The reality is, you know, what the people are looking at, you know.
Life's like a movie, write your own ending.
Keep believing, keep pretending, we've done just what we set out to do. Thanks to the lovers, the dreamers,
Can you imagine how many people they had to have there to have all those puppets or Muppets? Isn't that amazing? Doesn't he sound like Kermit? Or I guess Kermit sounds like him, right? He made the voice. Okay. Let me show you one more little thing about Jim Henson. And I always find it just unbelievable how he can move his hands just to make it look like he's riding a bike or he's strumming a guitar or a banjo. This is a cute little clip of him playing the banjo or of Kermit playing the banjo, and I just can't even see strings or hands or anything. And this is another actor in America called Steve Martin, and he was on The Muppet Show a lot, and he plays the banjo perfectly. And he sees if Kermit can replicate or repeat what he does. Just amazing.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you as they get further and further along how fast he goes. Doesn't look he's really your eye is drawn to him and seeing how he can play the banjo. Isn't that amazing? Okay, let's go back to a few more things in our book. And I have one more little slide of Kermit. And you know that, I'm not sure if you know, but his girlfriend is Miss Piggy. That is his girlfriend. You could see her right here. That's who they always have her on the Muppet Show with him. And they are girlfriend, boyfriend. So here's Kermit, and he's the host of the Muppet Show. And here's another just little cute thing I wanted to show you with Kermit sitting on a log. They like to show him in the swamp because frogs eat flies, and that's what he eats. Okay, there's Jim with Kermit there. Let me go back to our book. And I'll show you one more thing of Jim Henson in just a second. All right, so it says he was a great boss to work for. That's nice to know. Remembering Jim. Now, this is sad. I didn't want to tell you this until the end, but Jim did die in 1990. He lives on through the magical worlds and more than 2,000 puppets he created. That's a lot of puppets. His creations and ideas changed TV and movie making forever, but his life's work isn't just about puppets. Jim Henson is proof that kindness and respect can bring success. Okay, so let me show you a few more little things of Jim, and we will take questions at the end. We're not near the end, but I want to make sure you knew that. This is him on one of the big shows in America a few years ago. And you can look at him, and he does sound like Kermit.
Very lucky man. His business is fantasy and magic. He works all the time as a writer, a producer, a director. But above all, he's a master puppeteer. Please welcome Jim Henson. You've taken the puppet world to a new height. What's the appeal that your puppets have?
Oh, boy, it's hard to say. I think, well, I think puppets have a kind of appeal to kids, to adults. They've been around forever. You know, as long as we've had theater, we've had one kind or another of puppetry. But I don't know, I think with the Muppets, there's sort of an innocence to them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that appeals to the child in everybody, you know? Because I think everybody, there's a child in all of us still.
I think the...
or an adolescent, in the case of some people.
I am.
Sure.
When you deal with Kermit, I think he's probably the most popular of any puppet on the planet. How did you come up with Kermit?
Oh, he started a long time ago. I made him about 30-some years ago. And he was originally made from an old coat of my mother's.
And it was a coat from the rag bag. And
was it a green coat, that color green?
It wasn't that color. No, he was. My mother didn't wear that color green. But it was more of a sort of a turquoise color. And the eyes were a ping pong ball cut in half. It was very simple. It was like a sock puppet, you know.
Right. Have you ever created a character that didn't fly? I mean, something you said, oh, people hated that, or it didn't work?
Yeah. I remember one time, in the early days of Sesame Street, we did a character called Professor Hastings. And Professor Hastings was very sort of, he talked real slow. And Frank Oz did him. Frank is really brilliant. And we all cracked up. We thought it was very funny. But we found we just totally bored the audience, you know. It was something that just didn't work at all. And
Very intelligent puppet, very
well,
wordy.
It was what was funny about it was the fact that it was very slow. And we found that kind of speed just didn't work at all.
Yeah. I'd like to talk to Kermit, if it's possible.
Sure. Oh, he's around. So.
Oh, yeah, you know.
They're barking at me.
Yes, they are. That means they like you.
Oh, good. Hi out there. Yes.
Now, first of all,
I haven't been barked at by an audience before, ever. You know? My goodness.
Welcome to the new world, Kermit.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, ribbit, ribbit.
Oh, gosh. Let me ask you a question. See, it's weird. I look at you, but I should be... okay.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I've never understood it myself, you know?
Oh, first of all, you work with LeVar, Kermit.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Hiya, Kermit.
How are you,
Good to see you, good to see you.
We did Reading Rainbow together.
Yeah, yes.
Nice.
Reading Rainbow fans.
Yeah. That was fun, too.
Between the two of us, we pretty much have PBS children's shows kind of locked up here.
Well, that could be.
Yeah.
Now, Kermit, you're a big star.
Yes.
And you could have any woman you want.
I beg your
Why
pardon?
Miss Piggy? I mean, I've always wanted that shit. Why Miss Piggy?
Why?
I told you guys, that's his girlfriend.
Well, it's not like I have her, you see. I mean,
He's always trying to make sure she's happy, and she's really never happy if you've seen Miss Piggy. Have you seen Miss Piggy? Tell me in the chat if you've seen who that is. Because she's fun, but she's very loud. She has big hair, and she loves pretty dresses. No? Okay, I'll show you her in just a second. All right. No, really? I thought, okay. And did you hear him mentioned, and I wanted to show you that clip only because he mentioned Frank Oz. If you've ever seen Star Wars or Return of the Jedi and you've seen Yoda, that's another puppet that they made, okay? And Frank Oz, who was the voice of Miss Piggy, is also the voice of Yoda, okay, on Star Wars. All right, so let me show you. I've got these pulled up. Here is the Muppet Show, like we talked about, and him opening the Muppet Show. And you'll see Miss Piggy here, his girlfriend.
It's the Muppet Show!
This is a show that came on at night, not during the day on Sesame Street, but this came on regular TV, and it would show one special actor or actress every week who was in movies or on TV.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the light. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight.
It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to get things started.
Why don't you get me started?
Think we'll be entertained tonight?
I will. I brought a book.
It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational celebration.
Okay, and this is Miss Piggy right next to him, and that's Fozzie Bear, and that's Scooter. Down here is Janice. These are all different people in the orchestra that they have.
This is what we call a Muppet Show.
Thank you. Hi, all, and welcome again to the Muppet Show. Yes, so this is going to be a fantastic show.
Yeah, it better be, as tonight we're keeping score.
Yes.
These guys always sat on the top balcony, and they're like mean old men, and they would joke on, make jokes the whole entire time.
On a scale of 1 to 10, here's your score so far.
2? Oh, come on, guys. Forget about keeping score. You're going to love this opening number. Let's go to Rio.
When my baby smiles at me, I go to Rio de Janeiro, Rio Mayo. I go out and then I have to do the samba and la bamba. Now I'm not the kind of person with a passion of persuasion for dancing or romancing, but I give it to the rhythm and my feet follow the beating of my heart. When my baby smiles at me, I go to Rio de Janeiro. I'm a salsa fellow. When my baby smiles at me, the sun.
So I wanted to show you just how amazing to have these little Muppets sitting on a pretend beach. I can't imagine the creativity that they had to use to do that. And you can't even really see a lot of the strings or the hands. Okay, I'm just seeing some things in chat, but it's other people talking. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the Cookie Monster because you guys said that you liked that. And let me show you the Cookie Monster in case you didn't know, on Sesame Street. And see if you guys can see this. This is Gordon, who's one of the humans always on Sesame Street. They're talking about the moon.
Very, very far away.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wait. That's not problem.
What?
No, me just get ladder.
No.
Yeah.
No,
and then me climb ladder all the way up
You don't
to the moon.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
Cookie, there is no ladder tall enough to reach the moon. No.
You mean the moon that far, huh?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of like flying around the whole world 10 times.
That lot of flying.
Yeah.
You mean that bird?
Oh, yes, and one other thing.
Yeah,
Cookie,
what that?
I
what?
hate to tell you this,
Yeah,
but
what?
the moon
Yeah.
is not a cookie.
Says who?
Well, lots of people.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they've studied it. They've looked at it through long telescopes, and some people have actually been there.
Wait a minute. Me know someone who's been to moon.
Oh?
Yeah, little Slimy was there.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I remember. He went up there in the little worm rocket
The one
ship.
he's talking about is the worm out of Oscar's trash can. He's pretending that he went to the moon, the little worm.
That's it. That's it.
What?
Yeah. Slimy will know if moon is cookie. Yeah, me go to a Slimy.
Oh.
Yeah. Bye, Gordon. Oh, Slimy.
Okay.
Say, that's a lot of books you brought from the worm library there, Slimy.
Read.
Oh, you love to read. He's a real little bookworm.
Oh, Slimy. Oh, Slimy. Me so happy to see you. Yeah.
Well, I can't say I feel the same way, so scram!
Oh, no, me can't scram, Oscar. No, me have very important question for Slimy.
All right, ask it quickly, then scram.
Okay. Little Slimy, you went to the moon, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Slimy, tell me the truth. Is moon a giant cookie?
I don't know. I didn't taste it.
You heard him. He didn't taste it. So,
By the way, Jim Henson's also the voice of Oscar. So they all did a lot of different characters, not just one, those puppeteers.
scram!
Oh boy. Oh yeah. That mean maybe me right. Yeah, maybe moon is cookie. Oh, Slimy, you make me so happy. Mwah. Yeah. We just have one more little question. Since you expert on moon travel, you think maybe that, maybe you could help me get to the moon? You know, make a phone call or something? Please? Slimy, please? Oh, please.
Okay, I'll call Wassa.
So I wanted you to see the Cookie Monster because you guys had said you liked Cookie Monster. All right. And let's go back to the book and make sure we understood some of the words as well. And let's see if you guys know. Do you remember him talking about diversity and how a lot of the Muppets or puppets were very diverse? Does anybody remember what diverse means? Anybody remember in the chat? Tell me what diverse might mean. Anybody remember? It is cute, Ivy. Diverse means very different. It starts with the letter D. It's the same thing. So they could have a yellow Muppet and a green Muppet. They could have one that spoke English, one that spoke Chinese, one that spoke Spanish. Many. Good, Sophia. Yep. Diverse means many. And you can see that when I show you a picture of, let's say, Jim Henson with some of his Muppets. Let me show you. You know, there's all kinds of different shapes and sizes and girls and boys and colors and you know, their personalities are very different. You know, Oscar's grouchy and mean. Elmo's very happy and childlike. Big Bird's kind of more like an adult and he's taller. So that's what diverse means. All right. Let me show you one more thing here with the Muppets. Again, all of them, you'll see Miss Piggy. They had a couple movies, actually, many movies. And this is when they went to space.
Entertain generations of children and adults. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be taking a look at the history of the Muppets.
That's the Swedish chef. He never spoke any language that anybody knew. He just kind of sang and made different recipes and made foods. This is Beaker, who was an assistant in the laboratory.
Believe it or not, these world-famous creations were first introduced all the way back in 1955 by Jim Henson, then a college student at the University of Maryland. It was at this time that the first incarnation of what would become the Muppets was created for the kids' show Sam and Friends. Surprisingly, the energetic...
Our book talked about that. Remember the page that his first show was Sam and Friends? It was only about 2 to 5 minutes long.
Combination of marionettes and puppets soon became extremely popular with the public. As a result, they made appearances on various national variety shows and commercials, while also appearing as guests on talk shows.
That's one of the cleverest things I've seen in a long time.
However, it was only in 1969 that Henson was asked to help head the groundbreaking educational show Sesame Street.
Cookie starts with C. Let's think of other things that starts with C. Who cares about the other things? C is for cookie. That's good enough for me.
While Henson's Muppets were originally envisioned as just one element of the program, they soon became the show's core. This is due to the overwhelming popularity of its iconic creations, which included Oscar the Grouch, the Cookie Monster, Grover, Big Bird, and Bert and Ernie.
Ernie! Oh, sheep with tap dancing!
In 1976, Henson launched his own project called The Muppet Show. This primetime variety program consisted of sketches, songs, and celebrity guest stars. Equaling the success of Sesame Street, the new show was designed for children of all ages and their parents to enjoy together.
Phenomena.
Surprisingly, it launched the international superstardom of the show's charming host, Kermit the Frog, and his love interest, the diva Miss Piggy.
A frog and a pig. We could have bouncing baby figs.
Of course, it also gave us a wealth of other lovable characters. These included Fozzie Bear, the Swedish Chef, Gonzo the Great, and the house band Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. The popularity of this cast is attributed to the fact that the characters can be anything, including humans, animals, robots, aliens, and everything else in between. As a result, this multi-species cast was able to transcend the issues of race and instead focus on the values of friendship and culture.
Remember we just said diversity?
Cultural harmony.
I don't know what to say except that if you, the frog, want me, the bear, to stay, then I just have to have a raise. Yeah.
Oh, and I need a bigger dressing room and a limousine.
Will you get out of here, Fozzie?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
As for the production involved, it may surprise you to know that Kermit the Frog originally appeared on Sam and Friends years earlier and was originally meant to be a lizard. This would have become a reality, except that Henson couldn't find frills for the character's neck. Henson had already cut up his mother's coat to create the puppet, so with old ping pong balls for eyes, he created the closest thing he could think of. Incidentally, Kermit served as the original template for all of his Muppet Show co-stars. As a result, they similarly featured a wide mouth and large eyes, and were made of foam, rubber, and other soft materials instead of wood. In addition to this, they were also controlled by rods rather than strings, as this gave Henson's creations a greater range of movements than ever before.
Think about this, friends.
Even after the show ended its 4-year run in 1981, the original Muppet cast and creations continued to entertain audiences with several movie outings. These included The Muppet Movie, The Great Muppet Caper, The Muppets Take Manhattan, The Muppet Christmas Carol, and Muppet Treasure Island.
Big fat, ugly, bug-faced, baby-eating O'Brien? Aye.
At the same time, Henson's production team lent their talents to the creation of the underground civilization of Fraggle Rock.
That was in our book as well, that page of Fraggle Rock.
The nursery spin-off Muppet Babies, as well as the fantastic worlds found in the films The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. In 1990, Jim Henson passed away unexpectedly from pneumonia at the age of 53. Appropriately, his Muppet creations conducted a high-profile ceremony in his honor. More recently, in 2004, Walt Disney acquired the rights to the Muppets from the Jim Henson Company. Soon after, they created the television movie,
and that's Miss Piggy,
The Muppets Wizard of Oz, and later released several videos for YouTube. These included their famous take on the Queen hit Bohemian Rhapsody.
I see a little silhouette of a clown. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
Galileo. Galileo.
Wishing to rekindle the franchise and keep up with current trends, they formed the Muppet Studio in 2009 and re-released these videos in HD format. At the same time, they began production on the Muppets 2011 theatrical film release.
So anyway, they have lots of movies, like I told you guys. Pretty neat that all of that is still going on, and Jim Henson isn't there any longer. Let me show you one little snippet of his funeral. It was broadcast. All the Muppets were there. Let's see. Let me just show you one more little thing before I show you that. The world of Jim Henson. And then I'll show you that so we can take questions.
First one, and then you.
I go first.
Oh, you want to go first?
Second.
Okay, you go first.
12.
12.
13.
13.
14.
14. 15. What's after 15?
After 15.
After 15 comes 16.
Oh, God, that's
16.
It's not unlike the way a parent, no matter what you do as a parent, anytime you're sort of talking with your kids, you're really teaching them, you know, all the time you're talking, you're conveying your feelings about life, you know, and that's really that kind of thing that we're trying to do.
That's his family.
And listen, we thought we would talk to you a little bit about the concept of being next to, you see? Now then, right there, you see Charlotte is next to Fanny, right? Because they're right close together, you see? So they are next to.
I'm sure a lot of these children that worked on the show were looking down at the people, you know, doing the puppetry.
To each other. Now, Kermit the Frog is next to Charlotte.
I know that.
Ooh,
But that... Oh, that's good. I love hugs. Now, could you do one more thing for me?
What?
What I really love in the world is scratching my tummy. Would you scratch my tummy? Oh, this is so good! Oh, scratch a little higher. Oh, this is... Oh, you made the monster very happy.
And there was something so to the heart, something so simple you were astonished that it could be so simple and funny. The language could be so clear and disciplined.
with those children, they kind of had to work where they weren't always on a script reading exactly what to say, because I'm sure that working with children was a little different. Children can say lots of things. There's no script. Let me show you one more thing about, I've got a couple things to show you, but I don't know if I have enough time, about the Muppets, and then we'll do Jim Henson. Here is another thing of when he was talking about the Muppets. When he first started, I'll just show you just a second of this. Looks very different and younger, huh?
Hello there. My name is Jim Henson, and I'm a puppeteer. I'm called a puppeteer because I work with puppets. Now, puppets are things which have been with us for, hundreds, even thousands of years.
What's this about puppets?
What do you mean, Ralph?
I mean, what's a puppet?
Oh, you know what a puppet is. You're a puppet.
Why, I don't, I mean, I've never been so insulted in my entire life.
Now, Ralph is one of my puppets, which I call the Muppets. And we'll be talking or seeing more of the Muppets a little bit later in the show. But right now, we thought we might tell you a little bit about how you go about making very simple puppets. This is Don Saline, who is our Muppet builder. And we'll build a few very simple little things like, you know, children can make.
Okay, so he talks about how he gets these styrofoam balls and he sews eyes on these clothes. Very, very interesting. All right, let me show you one more thing about Jim Henson while we have a minute here. Pretty neat how he did that. I don't have enough time to show you that. And this is all the people and the puppets that were at his funeral. I'm only going to show you a snippet of this. All the puppets sang. These are the voices and the puppets here that are by the microphone, the people that actually have the voices for the different Muppets.
If just one person believes in you, deep enough and strong enough, believes in you, hard enough and long enough, before you knew it, someone else would think, if he can do it, I can do it.
Oops.
Making
Oops.
it two whole people who believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, there's bound to be some other person who believes in making it a threesome, making it three. People you can say, believe in me. And if three whole people, why not four? And if four whole people, why not more? And more, and more. And then all those people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, it stands to reason you yourself will start to see what everybody sees in you.
Okay, so we're not going to end on a sad note. Let me just show you this.
If you work in a team, you should be
First,
using
after the ad goes by, you'll see Miss Piggy on the left and Kermit.
What would you do if I sang attitude? Just stand up and walk out on me. Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, baby, I get by with a little help from my friends. All I need is my buddy.
You can see Miss Piggy right here and Kermit.
I say I want to get high. From my friends. Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and take some questions now. We have just a few minutes left, about 10 minutes. And let me know if you have any questions. King, King, go ahead and tell me your question. And if you have to, you can definitely say it in the chat because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to hear you. Tell me your question in the chat, King.
My question is, why do Jim Henson wants to make Muppets?
That's a great question. It sounds like he just liked them from the very beginning when he was younger. His mother got him involved in lots of different crafts and sewing and painting, and he was very artistic. And he just made one puppet, and then I guess he made another and another, and that was his life. He just enjoyed making up stories. He's probably a very good storyteller, and he put his characters out to tell his stories.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I want to ask one that, well, is Kermit more popular or Elmo more popular?
You know, I think that's a great question. I think Kermit's still more popular because he's kind of the one that started everything and he's still in every show that they do, or almost every show and every story they have. Elmo became very popular with a lot more younger children for a while, but I think Kermit's still the most popular. Henry, that's a great question. I think, in my opinion.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Well, if I don't see any more questions, I hope to see you again in webinar. The blue one. Yeah, he is funny, King. I'm so glad that you guys came today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope you have a great holiday if you're on your winter holiday yet, and a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for coming to the Ivy webinar today. Please come back every time you can. Have a good evening. Good night.